Yo, we got the new discovery in Egypt that scares scientists. Who really built the pyramids? Let's get right into the video, man. You already know how we doing.
Egypt has always been famous throughout even the ancient world for its mysteries and incredible feats of structural engineering. The ancient past of Egypt is something that is mostly lost to us, and even though discoveries come to light every now and then, most of Egypt's secrets are well kept between the endless scorched sands. Egypt achieved feats so incredible that many people still believe that the ancient Egyptians had to have been in contact with alien beings, from the first ever pregnant mummy to a giant pit of mummified baboons. Here are the 15 strangest things recently discovered in Egypt. Number 15. Pit of Giant Hands. The land of Egypt is a mysterious and magical place that has captured the imagination and generations of curious minds. To this day, this
is definitely a learning experience. So we've got tune your ears in.
Region continues to surprise and delight, or even sometimes terrify us, despite hundreds of years of excavation and exploration. Back in 2011, archaeologists digging at the site of Avaris, a once great ancient Egyptian city, made a truly astonishing and rather shocking discovery when they unearthed 4 ancient pits that had been dug near a palatial compound and contained several dismembered, bodiless hands. A total of 16 severed hands were eventually dug up, all of which turned out to be far larger in size than the average human hand, leading to speculation as to whom they had been taken from and why. The 4 pits must have held ceremonial importance and were found in the palace of King Khain of the Hyksos, a West Asian people who once ruled over parts of northern Egypt. 2 of the pits containing the mysterious appendages were located just outside a large throne room, while the other 2 were located in an outer portion of the palace compound. According to scientists, the hands were approximately 3,600 years old, remarkably large, and were all right hands.
That's
this
like
led to speculation that they could be the first ever physical evidence found of a bizarre but very common ancient practice, and had once been traded for gold. Soldiers and even bounty hunters would typically chop off the right hand of their slain foe or bounty as proof of victory, and would then present them to their king or leader. The hands would be traded for gold and later dumped into these custom-made pits.
Before we go on, like this video, smash that subscribe button, and click that notification bell right now, and you'll receive amazing luck for the rest of the week.
The bull crap,
Before we continue on with this exciting countdown, make sure you smash the like and subscribe button to never miss one of our insane videos. Since the dawn of time, Egypt has been one of the great powers of the world, and in the reign of the ancient Egyptians, some of the most spectacular and awe-inspiring structures that were ever built came to be. There are tons of creepy, unexplained, and obscure things that have been discovered here, but the new discovery in Egypt that scares scientists completely blows the lid off of what we thought we knew about Egypt.
I swear
In our
there's a whole
chilling, untold
civilization
topic of the
under
day,
it.
scientists were exploring the tunnels beneath the Great Pyramid of Giza, and completely to their surprise, they discovered evidence of a highly advanced civilization. A vast chamber was found for the first time ever, and inside the scientists came upon advanced machinery and technology that defies all logic and explanation. The walls were filled with ancient hieroglyphics, and we later learned that these were not just random carvings, but rather instructions to the use of this sci-fi technology. The civilization was so advanced that they rival even our modern understanding of machinery and technology. But this begs the question of what happened to them. As more evidence comes to light, it's clear that
I swear, I know for sure these people discovered time travel. I know it. Like I can't put my finger on it because I'm not a scientist or somebody that studies this, but I know they had time travel. I know
civilization
it's real,
was
bro.
destroyed by some ancient catastrophic force. They managed to hide their marvelous and ingenious inventions underneath the period before their doom. And now, all that remains is a lot of unanswered questions, and one of the deepest and most intriguing mysteries that has ever been revealed from the depths of Egypt. Why was this race wiped from history? And how did they manage all these impossible feats of technology in the ancient world? Comment down below with the hashtag #UntoldTopic, and let us know your opinion in relation to what we just showed on the screen. With that said, let's keep things moving. Number 14. Papyrus Scroll. The incredible archaeological site of Saqqara is part of an ancient necropolis of the Egyptian city of Memphis, which was the first capital of the newly unified kingdom of Upper and Lower Egypt, and flourished until around the turn of the 7th century CE. The area contains many elaborate royal tombs and has delivered a wealth of amazing treasures throughout the decades. A few years ago, archaeologists excavating the site discovered an amazing cache of ancient relics that had been buried in the desert sands for more than 2,500 years. The artifacts included dozens of sacrificed sacred animals, 250 elaborate painted wooden coffins, and several beautiful statues, as well as a mysterious papyrus scroll that had been hidden inside one of the
So much
sarcophagi,
information.
now known today as the
Pyramids.
Waziri Scroll. It was originally believed to be less than 30 feet long, but after it had been better restored, it was discovered to be an astounding 52 feet in length and was covered in exquisite ancient hieroglyphs and drawings. Upon further inspection and translation, it was discovered that the incredible papyrus
Real quick, if there is anybody that truly studies this or knows a lot more information that you just feel like he went over, please let me know in the comment section below, and I would love to like hit you back and forth to act. I really want to understand this. I'm understanding it, but just my brain takes a lot to comprehend this stuff.
contained inscriptions from
It's a
the
lot of
legendary
information.
and mysterious Book of the Dead, which was a collection of hundreds of spells, ancient hymns, and funerary incantations that were said to help the souls of the deceased find their way on the treacherous path to the afterlife in order to become united with the gods. The stunning and incredibly intriguing artifact is believed to date to around 1150 BC and may prove to hold a wealth of mysterious knowledge that has been long forgotten and nearly lost to time. Number 13. Giant Ramses II statue. A few years back, a group of international archaeologists unearthed two absolutely enormous ancient statues
Dang, that
in the middle
statue's
of a
huge.
busy, modern working-class
1,500
neighborhood
feet.
in the city of Cairo, which had once been the site of the ancient capital of Heliopolis. The city had once been an important religious site that was dedicated to the worship of the sun god Ra, and the mysterious giant statues are believed to represent powerful pharaohs from the 19th dynasty and are around 3,000 years old. Many curious people looked on in awe as
a huge
pieces of
ear.
the submerged colossal sculptures were lifted out of the water by massive forklifts, and the unique find has been hailed as one of the most impressive ancient Egyptian discoveries to have ever been made. One of the statues stood at an impressive height of 26 feet and was made out of a hard stone known
dang.
as quartzite. The researchers found the bust of the large sculpture as well as the lower part of the head, and although it could not initially be identified from any engravings, but as it has been found in front of the entrance of a temple,
That's one thing I don't understand. How did they really build these things back in the day? Like, I understand, like, they were really smart, but they didn't have the tools and things as they say they didn't, or we think they didn't build these
dedicated
crazy
to King
statues.
Ramses II, also known as Ramses the Great. It was believed to represent him. The enigmatic ruler was a powerful and celebrated ruler of ancient Egypt, and is known to have led several military expeditions that vastly expanded the reach of the once mighty Egyptian empire. Researchers also discovered the upper part of a life-size limestone statue of Pharaoh Seti II, Ramses II's grandson, who ruled during the 12th century BC. The weird thing about the face of the statue is that it was found to be perfectly symmetrical, down
See
to the
what I'm
degrees of
saying?
the angles, something which should have been impossible with the primitive technology the people of ancient
don't make
Egypt
sense.
had access to. Number 12. Linen Book of Zagreb. Back in 1868, the Archaeological Museum of Zagreb in Croatia acquired the body of a mysterious, non-royal Egyptian woman who had been wrapped not in the traditional style, but was instead swathed in several
my
layers
God.
of ancient linen that was covered in a cryptic, strange foreign writing. For reasons unknown, her wrappings had originally been removed sometime earlier by her curious previous owner, who had decided to keep them as a macabre souvenir and place them in their own custom-made
have not
glass
seen the
display
Mummy
case.
movie.
The strange symbols that covered the linen strips were initially thought to be some kind of early Egyptian writing, similar to the ones that were recently translated from the Rosetta Stone. But after a while, researchers at the museum started suspecting that they might be dealing with something completely different and possibly quite special and unique. Sometime
Tom
later,
Cruise.
linguistic experts were able to identify and trace the peculiar text back to an enigmatic ancient people that were known as the Etruscans. Since hardly any of their own literature and history has survived to the present day, painfully little is known about their vanished civilization. But what is known is that they were one of the first great superpower nations of the ancient Western Mediterranean and inhabited the area of Etruria in Italy, located between two major rivers to the west and south of the Apennines mountain range. They are credited with building some of Europe's first true cities, and it is believed that these mysterious people and their cultural achievements set the stage for the success of the mighty Roman Empire. Today, the artifact is known as the Linen Book of Zagreb, and before it was ripped apart to make the bandages, it consisted of an 11-foot-long linen sheet with 12 columns of writing. Number 11. Precious Primates. The ancient Egyptians are famous for their worship and admiration of animals, and are known to have often extended the honor of mummification to several types of animals, with whom they shared the lands, as well as some from faraway foreign places. And over the years, many of these curious animal mummies of many different species have been unearthed in a variety of different locations across Egypt. One of their apparent favorite sacred animals is the baboon, which was not native to the area and had to be imported from distant lands, and was commonly kept by many people as a pet or service animal of some sort. Hundreds of mummified remains of these creatures have been discovered by archaeologists throughout the years, indicating that they occupied a special place in ancient Egyptian society and lived closely alongside their human counterparts. They have a very prominent part in the literature and art of the Egyptians, and various paintings and artifacts from this period depict them engaging in what appears to be very human-like activities, including everything from picking fruits, playing musical instruments, dancing, or even helping the authorities of police of the time chase down and catch criminals. The Egyptians also revere baboons because of their divine association with Thoth, the god of wisdom, who is often depicted as having a baboon's head in one of his many forms, and often also kept them near temples. The origin of the creatures had been credited to a mysterious and as of yet unknown and unplaced ancient land of Punt, and they seem to have been transported to Egypt from there by the boatload for many years. Archaeologists today are still baffled as to the location of this ancient land and hope that the mummified baboons can help them finally trace its possible location, which still remains a mystery. Number 10. The Unborn. Whole century after the discovery of the untouched tomb of the pharaoh Tutankhamun, archaeologists working at the site Saqqara near the Giza Plateau have once again made a remarkable and highly significant discovery in the form of a mysterious tomb that belonged to a previously little-known queen by the name of Neith. She was closely associated with the ancient war goddess Neith, an important deity during the First Dynasty, but previously to the discovery, there existed almost no mention of her in previous historical records, making the find one that has the potential to rewrite history and alter our perception of ancient Egyptian royalty. Hundreds of tombs have been dug up at this particular site throughout the years, including recently some which are believed to contain what could be the remains of some of the closest generals and advisors to the young King Tut. These political allies were buried in beautifully designed and decorated coffins with unique faces that had the name of the deceased written on them, and often depicted scenes from the Book of the Dead. But the discovery of the new pyramid structure that once may have belonged to the ancient queen, even though much of the life and death of the Queen Neith remains a mystery, researchers are hoping that the discovery of her pyramid will help shed some much-needed light into what exactly her role and the scope of her powers were. Her tomb is also one of the few rare examples of a royal burial from the New Kingdom to have been discovered here. Number 8. A million mummies. Some 60 miles south of the Egyptian city of Cairo, in the silent, hot, dry, and sandy Fayum region, a group of archaeologists have been digging away happily in a vast ancient cemetery that they believe could be the final resting place of nearly 1 million mummified bodies. The reason for this belief is that in the 30 years that they have been working at the unusual site, they have uncovered an astonishing 1,700 different mummies that have been dumped into what appeared to be enormous mass ancient graves. They suspect that the unfortunate souls have been placed here around the time when Egypt was under the control of the Roman and Byzantine.
Oh my god. My mic just went dead. Oh my god. My mic just went dead.
Empires
yeah, we're
between
good.
the 1st and 7th century AD. Despite the sheer number of bodies, historians are at a loss to explain where they may have come from, because the only nearby village was too small to warrant such an extensive burial ground. Even more bizarre is the fact that the mummies appear to have been placed and clustered together according to their hair color, those with blonde hair in one area and those with red hair in another. Unlike most of the famous mummified remains that have been discovered in Egypt, these appear to be ordinary people rather than royalty or other important figures that have been placed into the sandy ground without any goods or even coffins. The bodies have been laying here for more than 1,500 years, and amongst them was a strangely tall man that they had measured over 7 feet tall and had bright red hair. The group of researchers leading the excavation are hoping that the unique find will eventually help provide insight into what life was like for the average person during these tumultuous times. Number 7. Khafre's diorite statue. Currently, at the famous Cairo Museum in Egypt, there is on full display a series of remarkable statues that display unbelievably sophisticated stoneworking techniques that seem almost too refined and delicately detailed to belong in their specific timeline. One of the most iconic of these strangely advanced ancient artifacts is a stately funerary statue of what is believed to be the pharaoh Khafre, who reigned during the 4th dynasty of ancient Egypt and was the son of Khufu, the apparent architect of the Great Pyramid of Giza. The beautiful, otherworldly sculpture is carved entirely out of an extremely hard, coarse-grained dark igneous stone known as diorite or anorthosite gneiss, and was originally discovered more than 160 years ago at the bottom of a rubble-filled pit near the second largest tomb ever discovered in Giza by a man named Auguste Mariette, the first director of the Egyptian Antiquities Service. The slightly larger-than-life statue is often referred to as Khafre enthroned and is considered to be one of the most important and iconic surviving sculptures from the distant and mysterious...
Like, if you actually think about it, they're actually making perfectly aligned statues like body parts, if you understand. Like fingers, things like that, very detailed with things that they shouldn't have been able to do because their time frame wasn't like ours. Basically, they wasn't involved, as they say, as much as we are now. But they was doing it perfectly back 1,500 years ago, 3,000 years ago. You understand what I'm saying? It's crazy.
Egyptian past. The striking sculpture was carved entirely out of a solid block of diorite and is adorned with a multitude of beautiful and amazingly intricate ancient drawings. Diorite is known to be an extremely rare, durable hard rock that is very similar to granite and is quite difficult to carve and work with. Diorite stone is only found in a very select and remote stretches of the Sahara Desert in Nubia and had to be brought down with great expense some 400 miles down the River Nile from the distant royal quarries. The statue, along with several other remarkable hardstone artifacts that have been discovered throughout the years, cast a shadow of doubt on the mainstream narrative of primitive technology during the Egyptian culture and raises the questions of how in the world these ancient people were able to accomplish such insane feats. Number 6. Headless Pyramid. Located once again in the ever-popular Saqqara complex in the Giza Plateau, there is a rather special site that is currently off limits to the general public, where a mysterious ancient structure known as the Headless Pyramid can be found. Even though the area has been continuously explored for more than 200 years now, many Egyptologists believe that only around a third of its ancient underground treasures have been discovered so far. The obscure Headless Pyramid was apparently discovered for the first time back in 1842 by a German archaeologist, but was swallowed by the ever-shifting desert sands not long after, and had been lost for more than 160 years before its rediscovery. Today, only the base of the monolithic shrine has remained. The entire area is littered with the curiously disfigured remains of numerous gigantic structures, and one of the most intriguing features of the complex is that the entire stone floor was made out of a material called travertine. Travertine is a very rare and exotic type of limestone that is only formed by calcium-rich waters around natural mineral springs, especially geothermally active hot springs. This material was not naturally found in Egypt and had to be quarried and brought over, all the way from Turkey, some 870 miles away. Another weird feature of the area is the presence of a rather odd, dark gray stone box, partially buried by sand, that has some strange design features. Its enormous rock lid is not only still curiously intact, but seems to have been fitted to the box in such a way that means it is not only fitted on top, but actually slid perfectly into the top of the box itself. There is also a rather peculiar, perfect drill hole visible on its one side, for which no explanation has been officially given. Inside of a nearby pyramid, there is another box with a very similar design that was made entirely out of another exotic volcanic rock known as dacite. To some people, much of the beautiful and truly magnificent ancient stonework found in this now ruined site seems to give off the appearance of having been crafted by some fabled lost technology that we still don't understand, but one never knows what secrets the sands of Egypt still hide from us. Number 5. Lost Golden City.
Once we find it, we got
a momentous discovery of this lost 3,000-year-old city under the seemingly never-ending sand dunes of Egypt is being heralded by some of the most important historical finds to have ever been made in the area. The remarkable site will officially be the largest ever ancient city to have been found anywhere in Egypt and had been buried beneath the desert for several millennia before being rediscovered by a team of dedicated archaeologists. This so-called Lost Golden City was uncovered near Luxor, the home of the incredible Valley of the Kings, and before its discovery, most people did not believe that it could really exist there, hence its striking name. The historical lost city was known as the Rise of Aten, and dates back to a period in time that was known as the Golden Age of Egypt, that occurred most notably during the 4th dynasty of the Old Kingdom, more than 3,000 years ago. According to certain experts in the field, such as the famed Egyptologist Zahi Hawass, it might possibly be the most exciting and groundbreaking find since the iconic unearthing of Tutankhamun's tomb back in 1922. and might eventually reveal more buried secrets that could tell us more about the life of the enigmatic young pharaoh. One of the
Oh,
most
snap.
surprising and important things to have been discovered within the ruins of the ancient city so far are the statuettes and trinkets belonging to the mysterious Queen Tai, wife of Amenhotep III, and archaeologists believe that the discovery of the nearly forgotten city is only the first of many more amazing discoveries to be made in this area. Number 4. Egypt's strangest pyramid. About 5 miles north of the Great Pyramids at Giza, there lies a strange abandoned structure known as the Pyramid of Djedefre.
This is so
Djedefre was
crazy.
one of the sons of the pharaoh Khufu, who is credited with building the first great pyramid on this renowned plateau, and the oddly deserted and destroyed ruins of his monument sits near the top of a rocky hill known as Abu Rawash. This fascinating archaeological site has been explored many times over since the very early mid-19th century, and yet today there is still much about the hauntingly historic place that remains a mystery. One of the most intriguing questions about this fascinating area is surely regarding this mysterious pyramid and how it came to be in its current state of disarray or incompletion. The top half of the smallish pyramid seems to be completely missing, and all that remains of its original structure today are its lower tiers, which extend about 30 feet high. The uncompleted or partially destroyed pyramid of the pharaoh Djedefre is said to be about the same size as that of the third largest of the pyramids at Giza, and not only does there seem to be some disagreement among the experts as to whether the pyramid was ever finished or not, but also about whether it was even a pyramid at all, or some kind of unrecognized solar temple instead. Another of the seemingly unsolved disputes about the strange pyramid is that of its unusual location, and the fact that it was built miles away from the traditional burial grounds near Giza, the sacred place where the pyramids of his father and brothers lay. All of this only seems to demonstrate how much of our attempts to fill in our history are actually just educated guesswork. All researchers and historians can do is look at the few pieces of evidence left behind and do their best to interpret what they see. But what they eventually conclude isn't always the same, and often the details of history are completely lost to time.
Dang.
Number 3. Quesna
Like, we
Golden
really
Tongue
figure
Mummies.
out what happened back then.
An Egyptian archaeological mission in the ancient cemetery of Quesna, just north of Cairo, managed to uncover a set of tombs that contained several poorly preserved mummies from the Greco-Roman period, which have been buried with strange gold-foil chips shaped like human tongues in their mouths. The lucky group of archaeologists who discovered these mummies immediately knew what they had found was something very uniquely special, because although mummies with golden tongues had been found before, this time they found not only 2 beautiful ancient sarcophagi, but one that had remained completely sealed and intact through the long centuries, free from the pestering and assault of grave robbers. The first tomb had already been discovered long ago and had long since been opened and plundered, but still contained 2 human bodies with the strange golden tongues, as well as a large limestone sarcophagus. The second tomb, which was located near the first one, was however still intact and unlooted, and contained a number of amazing ancient artifacts besides the undisturbed limestone coffin and golden tongue mummies. Ancient Egyptian embalmers typically made these gold foil tongues and put them inside the mouths of the dead to enable them to speak with the god of the underworld, Osiris. Excavations at the site have been ongoing for more than 28 years, and archaeologists hope to uncover many more amazing ancient treasures buried here in the years to come that will help us build a better picture of what these mysterious people were like and what they believed. Number 2. The Golden Man. Archaeologists have
snap.
yet again
Boy, it
made
was
a
rich.
groundbreaking discovery in the fascinating and seemingly timeless tombs of Saqqara in the ancient Egyptian capital of Memphis earlier this year, when they unearthed the eerie mummified remains of an unidentified man that had been hidden deep underneath the shifting desert sands for more than 4,300 years. The man had been buried inside of a sealed stone sarcophagus at the bottom of a 33-foot shaft,
God,
alongside
damn,
several
that was
pieces
far
of
down.
valuable jewelry, and had also been wrapped with several layers of gold leaf, making him the oldest complete mummy covered with gold ever discovered, as well as the oldest non-royal mummified person. The mummy also wore a band on his head, had a bracelet on his chest, and was wearing an elaborate tunic, indicating that he had been a man of great wealth and influence. In addition to the mummies, several other amazing ancient artifacts were also uncovered in the year-long archaeological dig, including the likes of pottery, statues, amulets, tools, and various beautiful wall paintings. All of the finds, including the mysterious man wrapped in gold, are believed to date back to the 5th and 6th dynasties of the Old Kingdom, some 4,500 years ago, and are especially interesting to researchers because they provide a rare glimpse into the art and enigmatic religious practices of the Old Kingdom, a time period of which not much is really known. The discovery is also important as it helps us understand and connect the ancient kings with the people that lived around and close to them. Number 1.
Oh,
Secret
snap.
chamber discovered inside Great Pyramid. The Great Pyramid of Giza is one of the oldest and most magnificent of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, and looms over the sandy landscape at a height of 482 feet.
God
Its
damn,
base is
about
said
the
to
same
span
height
an
as the
incredible
King Dakar.
13 acres, and it is estimated to have been constructed using more than 2 million gigantic, multi-ton granite limestone blocks. But despite these impressive qualities, very little is known about its mysterious builder or its construction. Since archaeologists first started exploring the iconic and enigmatic stone monument and surroundings in the early 17th century, they have unearthed.
Just think about it. This is 1,500 to 3,000 years ago. A 482-foot pyramid built perfectly, aligned. I think he's gonna say aligned. I forgot what it is aligned with, but it's built perfectly. And you heard what he said: 2-ton bricks, blocks. They built this 15 to 3,000 years ago. Bro.
Literally thousands of amazing ancient secrets from beneath the hills of sand, and yet many more seem to be hiding, not only beneath the ground, but in places that have been explored time and time again. This happened recently when a hidden, never-before-seen corridor, measuring around 30 feet in length, was discovered inside the Great Pyramid, the first discovery of its kind in more than 200 years. Officials from the Egyptian Supreme Council of Antiquities recently announced the incredibly exciting news, revealing that the mysterious corridor is located on the north face of the enormous pyramid, behind huge gabled limestone beams, and that it might in all possibility be the original entrance of the Great Pyramid. Scientists found the entrance by using a highly advanced technique known as cosmic ray Muon radiography, and have admitted that it might turn out to be one of the greatest Egyptological finds of the 21st century. But for now, it remains unclear what lies within the mysterious void. All these insane discoveries prove that Egypt is far from having revealed all of its surprises, and for now, we can only wait to see which other mysteries reveal themselves. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out our other videos floating on screen right now before you go. See you next time.
Yo! Well, hey, that was the new discovery in Egypt that scares scientists. Hey, man, if y'all enjoyed the video, make sure y'all go ahead and like, comment. If you guys know anything else about this, please be sure to comment down below. I will be sure to hit you guys back as soon as possible because I truly want to know more about this, and I'm pretty sure if y'all are interested in this, y'all probably studied this a lot more than I did. So go ahead and comment down below. Hit that subscribe button and notification bell if you genuinely like these videos. And you might as well just keep coming back more and more and more. And we're going to build the NGU family up from the ground up, just like the pyramids. But yeah, man, until the next video. Also, if y'all like videos like this, comment on 1 too. Comment number 1 if y'all like these type of videos. Or comment pyramid. It doesn't matter. It's your boy, The Real Piers. Let me until the next video. I'm out.